Hello, this is Megan, and I'm going to talk today about the social characteristics of ASD that I observed in the student that I'm observing, who is a fourth grade male. I'll call M. So the day that I observed him last week, what I saw was him working individually with the teacher on a lesson. I did notice that he had very limited eye contact with his teacher. He walked away in the middle of his lesson, but then when his teacher got up and followed him, he ran back and sat down at his seat. He was very focused on his pencil when she was speaking to him, kind of staring at it and looking at it and tilting it as she spoke to him. And often when she would ask him questions, his answers would be unrelated to the question asked. He did initiate off-topic conversations a few times while she was teaching, and she usually guided him back to what they were working on. After he was done working, he sat in a separate little alcove and worked and played with an iPad as his reward for working during the rest of the period. And as a student sat next to him, he didn't really super obviously acknowledge him, but as I was watching him, I saw he seemed pleased that the student sat next to him, and he did some low murmuring to himself, not talking to the student, but he seemed to be kind of perky and happy to be sitting there kind of humming and talking to himself as the student sat next to him. He did say the other student's name, not to the student, but just as part of his mumbling and murmuring. As usual, he responded positively when it was time to get ready to go home, even though it meant quitting his iPad time. So the social characteristics of ASD that I was looking at, one was difficulty relating to others, and I did see that. When his teacher would speak to him, he would often answer her with an unrelated answer or talk about something totally off topic, so he wasn't able to kind of have the give and take of normal conversation. Also, when the student sat next to him during the iPad time, while he seemed like he liked that, he didn't engage with the other student. I definitely noticed he avoided eye contact, which is one of the other social characteristics of ASD. He rarely made eye contact with his teacher, and aside from that, he didn't make eye contact with anyone else. Lack of interest in pretend games was another social characteristic I was looking for, and I didn't see that today because not today, but during this day that I was observing him. There was no pretend game opportunity. I guess the iPad, I don't know. That seems like its own thing. So I didn't see him, doing any role playing or anything with anyone. Limited areas of interest. His interests definitely revolve around airplanes and trains. And when he would initiate conversations that were off topic while his teacher was teaching him, they would focus in those areas. So he was not really interested in what she was trying to teach him. So I did notice that, the limited areas of interest, which is a common social characteristic of people with ASD. And difficulty understanding others' feelings. I didn't see that this day that I observed him. There was nobody upset, or there was nobody showing really strong emotions that would have given me an opportunity to see him responding to that. And he seemed, actually, when his teacher got up and followed him, he went back and sat at his seat, which I thought was great. And he, so I didn't really see him having difficulty understanding others' feelings. The biggest things I saw were the avoiding eye contact and the difficulty relating to others. And he definitely seems to be, I guess, inside his own head, maybe is the way to say it, inside himself, where he can receive input, but he's not looking out and speaking out in the same way that more typically developing people do. So those were the things I observed when I was looking at his behavior and in terms of the social characteristics that he was exhibiting.